Hi there, it's July the 25th and we continue our voyage through the book of 2nd Chronicles, and we're coming to chapters 14, 15 and 16. And this is the account of the reign of King Asa, or King Asa as we call him, who's a son of Aviah. And it says at the beginning of chapter 14, he does what is right in the eyes of the Lord. And because of that, the chronicler recounts that God gives him rest, gives him peace, and he establishes him. So much so that people are attracted to come to Judah because of the peace and because of the presence of God there. They're attracted to come from Israel, from Simeon, from Ephraim, from Manasseh. And so people are coming and settling in Judah from the surrounding areas. And also in chapter 14 we read of the attack of Zerah the Cushite, or Zerah the Ethiopian. I'm not sure exactly where this comes from, but actually he attacks Judah, and and Asa stands in the strength of the Lord, and he prays and sees the Lord drive back the Ethiopians with great victory, and there's great spoil taken from the Ethiopians. And the key thing about this to remember and to notice is that Asa here has relied upon the Lord, and the Lord has delivered Judah. Then in chapter 15 opens with the Spirit of the Lord coming upon a prophet who prophesies that because Asa has chosen to follow the Lord is going to bless him. The prophet's name is Arias, son of Oded, and this prophet is saying that if they continue to follow the Lord will really bless them, the Lord will prosper them. And this in fact happens. Judah continues to follow the Lord and continues to see peace on the land, and as I say, people are coming from all over the place to settle in Judah because of the peace, and they enter into covenant with the Lord. They covenant with God together to follow his ways, and there's this strong theme here of following God, bringing benefits and bringing blessings to the nation. But then in chapter 16 things change somewhat. There's 35 years of Asa's reign are in peace, an unprecedented period of peace. But then in the 36th year, Baasha, who's king of Israel, king of the northern kingdom, starts moving against Judah in the south and builds a city, Ramah, to stop the flow of trade from the north down into Judah. And therefore Asa takes things into his own hands. Where before he's appealed to the Lord, he now takes things on himself. So he takes treasures, he takes money out of the treasury of the Lord, and he sends to Ben-Hadad, who's the king of Syria, and he appeals to an alliance which Judah has with Syria, and he asks Syria to break covenant with Israel and to rescue them from Baasha and his ways. And so Ben-Hadad listens to Asa and attacks Baasha, and Baasha then withdraws from building Ramah, and Asa and his troops move in, and Judah takes back the territory and builds their own cities as a result. But then there's a prophet comes and speaks to Hanani is his name. Hanani the seer comes and speaks in the Lord's name to Asa and says, because this time Asa has relied on his own strength and has not called on the Lord is going to there's going to be not a good outcome to this, and the Lord is displeased with Asa's action. He should have relied on the Lord and not relied on Syria. Now, Asa's reaction to Hanani is actually to imprison him. This sometimes happens when kings are not happy with the word of the Lord to them. They take it out on the prophet, and so we see the establishment of a long tradition of oppressing and imprisoning prophets who don't do what the king wants. And then in the 39th year of his reign, we read at the end of chapter 16, rather sadly, that Asa develops a disease in his feet which seems to lead to his death. Maybe it's a gangrene or something like that, but it's getting worse and worse. And it says instead of appealing to the Lord, Asa trusts himself to the doctors, to the physicians. Now that's not to suggest that physicians are evil or wrong, But this is out of character. This is not how Asa's reign has gone, and he doesn't appeal. He doesn't go to the Lord. He doesn't seek the Lord, and therefore he dies in the 39th year of his reign, without this appeal to God. It's an encouragement. It's a warning to us, perhaps, to constantly keep God in our view, to never take our eyes off him, because he never takes his eyes off us. He's always there to strengthen. He's always there to fight our battles for us. Often when we rely on our own strength, or rely on human strength, we see things go pear-shaped. God is encouraging us through the story of Asa to keep focused on him, to keep in covenant with him, to keep relying on his strength. Have a very good July the 25th.